Welcome to another episode of Redesigning Your Relationships podcast. I'm your host, Giovanna Burgess White, with my co-host,
Yvette Albanegro. Well, I'm just like, don't I have to push the live on my end?
I already did.
Okay, thanks. See, we're multitasking and supporting each other. But yes, hello, I'm Yvette Valdenegro, and I'm super happy to be here. And for those of you that live in Houston and are able to listen, we're really thankful because that means you have power and electricity and Wi-Fi. I guess power and electricity are the same thing. If you're not in Houston and you're listening to us, but you know someone in Houston, be supportive, or the other states that are now going through the same thing. We woke up to devastation all across the country. So just be supportive of your neighbor and check in on people to make sure they're okay. But today we're excited because we're wrapping up Mental Health Awareness Month. We've done a whole series on mental health matters because it does. And this is going to be the last episode, really talking more towards women in business and some strategies for managing stress and anxiety. And I do want to mention, because I think we go off on these topics and then we're like, oh my gosh, yes, there is a little survey, test, check-in, whatever you want to say, that we put together. It is 50 questions, but I think they're really good questions, and that will really give you a general idea of where you are at. And it makes me really happy for the people that have already filled it out, because I hope that that check-in for them really gives them an idea of their thoughts and how they're really doing. And I will say, for me personally, there's been a lot going on, and I am reminded when we're doing these, it's for everyone. It's for me. It's for you. It's for every listener. And checking in is so important, really. And when I say check in, I don't mean like, let me think how I'm thinking. No, I mean like quiet space. What are your thoughts? Because sometimes until we get quiet, we don't really know what those thoughts are, because they're just going a mile a minute in our head, but we're not taking the time to really listen. So this episode is dedicated to the women that are in business that are feeling the stress and the anxiety, and they're just feeling the overwhelm of, oh my God, like it's just the day in and day out. Woo, look at you.
I know. Let us know if you're watching live in the comments, because we are live on all platforms. Yvette and I have streamlined, and we are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram Live, as well as YouTube. And then you can watch on Spotify exclusively, because we are on video podcasting on Spotify. So comment, because we'll drop you here and people can see you. Hello, welcome, Sunny. We're so glad to see you. I love that photo. And thank you. Yes, and we are very thankful to have power back on. I have been off the grid, so I'm like, today is my first day back, and I'm so excited. And for those of you guys who still don't have power, I just want to thank all the other communities, because I was stressing about not being able to post about where to get any types of tools and resources. And while I love Houston, I love the women communities that we're part of, because they did it for us and we were just able to reshare. So if you do need anything, reach out to us. We can send you some resources, hotlines, places to go, cooling centers, food, all the things. We have an amazing list of resources thanks to our other women's groups. And before we get started, our sponsors for this podcast is the YGC Collective, coming to you August 19th and August 20th. Instead of going through the full spiel, since we are talking about mental health, one of our sponsors, Mayanne from Aurora House, does tons of workshops for, I would say mental health, self-care, your overall well-being. So I'm just going to shout her out because she is one of our sponsors. She will be there. And if you can't wait till August, her Instagram is beautifully curated and has her link in bio with every single workshop that she does for the month. So I recommend you go there, and then just go to YGC Collective on our website and get all the information on how you can be part of our VIP night and our conference day. So,
and more shout out to Man. She just got certified as a hypnotherapist. And if you've ever had that experience, holy God, and listen, actually today, because I feel like, there's different levels of stress, anxiety, and knowing that mentally maybe you're not doing really well, and you need to find a man to help you. So I highly encourage that if you feel like you're one of those people, and just know the minute you get on the phone with her, she is this warm, her voice, her tone, her care, she is 100% legit and so intuitive, and she's going to just help you automatically just by her voice on the phone feel that relaxing sense of well-being. So completely encourage you to reach out to her.
Love it. We got a viewer from Uganda. I love it. Oh, friends, welcome. I put information for the collective here. You can get to all of our sponsors here. And actually, another plug to Sony Pelty, who's another one of our sponsors. They did an amazing podcast together. So all those tools and resources available for you. We're going to dive deep into our last part of mental health awareness month, mental health check-in. Let me take our tech off here, and we're just going to hit you hard with exactly what this is. It's effective strategies for managing stress and anxiety as a businesswoman. So, you know us in our little slides. We love to give you a nice little PDF. So how can you practice these effective strategies? And that's what we're going to go through. And I'm going to go back to comments just in case. Again, if you're live, comment. We will feature you here. We will answer questions, and we can send you tools and resources. So, okay. Do you want to start, or you want me to start?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You said you're going to jump onto the Instagram, so I didn't know if you wanted me to start.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I full disclosure. I mean, I feel, especially because of this topic, no one talks about, and I'm willing to be very vulnerable, and it's fine with me. I personally have gone through a lot in the past year, and I'm still dealing with a bunch of stuff. So I know when I go through the very thing that we're going to be sharing, I feel like that picture in the front with the woman going like this, that so many times during the day, yes, there you go. Here I am. Like, wait, no, this way. This is because I'm a real person. I'm not a robot. I have feelings, thoughts, and emotions. And sometimes it can just have a sense of that overwhelm of, where do I start? Where do I begin? Or, to be quite frankly, brain fog, because there is so much coming in my environment or whatever I'm going through, that focusing in on work or just like using my mind to like try to hone in on certain things, it can be difficult. And I know that everybody has different levels of that. So when we're sharing these things, I just want full transparency that we go through things, our families go through things, our friends go through things, and this is real. But the things that we're going to share, I really do think are effective strategies. And I can 100% tell you that if it was not for the things that we're about to talk about, I think I'd be a basket case on the floor rolling around. And implementing routines and everything we're going to talk about, I think and I'm just going to talk frankly, saved my ass, to be honest. And we're really hoping that anybody else out there that is listening to this and having thoughts or struggling or whatever, that this is going to be an encouragement. But always, 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 Gio and I are coaches. We're not therapists. And these are guidelines. These are strategies, or things to help. They're resources, but we're not medical doctors, and we're definitely not trained. We've gone through our own things. We've been educated, and now we're sharing. But if for any reason you really need to talk to someone, 911, 988, or look at your local resources in your area, and NAMI, which is an online organization that you can talk to someone right away. Okay, so that being said, listen, we say all the time, I feel like it's been mentioned in all of these episodes that we've been talking about mental health, practice self-care. And we are stressing again, that is not going to get your nails done. And I don't know if anybody noticed, I got my hair did. And yeah, I felt good in the chair. I felt amazing. I looked in the mirror and I went, oh my God, girl, can I repeat this? Like you did an amazing job. I have to go home and went to get washed. Oh my God. Right. Yes. I loved it. And it was me time, but that, as great as that was, that did not do anything for me mentally, and the subliminal mental thoughts that are going on when I'm not paying attention. It was a feel-good moment, and I'm sure it did something for my endorphins for a very short period of time. But for longevity, that is not what we're talking about. We are talking about actually scheduling time for yourself, making sure your routine in the morning, taking time to actually during the day, if you need a little bit of a break, to just go, I'm going to go outside and smell some fresh air. I'm going to go get myself a refreshing coffee drink and just sit here. I'm going to maybe read a book that is so inspiring. I just need a lift. I'm going to meditate in the morning. I've got affirmations. Like I've got these certain songs that make me feel like I'm going to go read something, whatever it is something that is special to you, that is intentionally changing those thought processes that may be negative in your head, and not just something that's candy coating it or covering up or putting a Band-Aid. Because we both know that you rip off that Band-Aid, you still got the wound.
Yeah. All right. Number 2, building your support systems. We were just talking about this yesterday. Can't do it alone.
Yep.
You need to delegate. Like, this is real. Like, not just in your business, in life. You have to have a support system. And creating a network of other, like, hanging out with people like you, being around other women entrepreneurs, asking questions. What are you using in your business? It's all about the balance. I know people think it's crazy that it doesn't exist, but it does, because this is something that you have to prioritize, and you can't be afraid to ask. Every woman, I don't know why, we were programmed to, like, we can do it ourselves. We got this. We do it better. I don't like how other people do it. We have learned right here, us two, to really slow down, ask for help. We know where our strengths are. We know where our challenges are, and ask for help. And I promise you, it together, we have done, us two together have done so much, but within our communities, with our clients, with the people we contract, like the whole bubble of our community that we utilize has made our life so much easier. And we're real people too. Like like she said at the beginning, everything that we're talking about, we have walked the walk. And I always say, like, when things come up now, I'm like, this is happening because one of our clients, the women in our community, the people in our family, the people we know, are going to need this support later. And because we've gone through it and we've walked through it and we've coached, my God, how we coached ourselves through it, gone through therapy for it, it has literally helped us help the next person, the next woman that's going through the same thing. So ask for help. Don't be afraid to delegate. And if you have a family at home, teach them that too. It is the gift that keeps on giving. You delegating and you teaching your kids and you teaching your spouse to prioritize themselves first and to delegate will make life so much easier.
And in the work environment too, this can be done. Don't think, oh, I'm at work, I can't talk to people, or this is okay. I know people do this. I'm at work. It's inappropriate to be talking about personal things. Yes, to a degree, I understand that thought process, but as far as being a support system to one another, like obviously standing around the water cooler is not the time to be talking about personal things. If you really want to talk personal, take someone to lunch and get to know them better. But if you realize that there's other people around that are like, hey, this project is getting really intense, or sometimes I just it's hard for me to focus on things. And then you're like, oh, me too. Well, what helps you? Oh, I like a lot of quiet. Oh, well, why don't we just work on, hours from 10 to noon? It's absolutely quiet in here, almost like the library, so that, everybody's functioning. So talking and getting to know the people in your office, you can build support systems within the work environment. And depending on the size of your company, there might even be resources. And companies nowadays are growing in their thought process of helping their employees, so that if there are situations or they need coaching or they need to talk to someone during the day, that those resources are there. You just have to ask. Yeah. Okay. The next one, manage your mindset. Oh my God, it all starts right here, like this brain of ours. But I don't forget who we talked to the other day, but oh yeah, I know who we talked about or talked to. Gratitude. And listen, I know how hard it is. You go to somewhere, you're in corporate America, you're at home, you're doing whatever, you sit down and write that email. Oh, I have to talk to so I can't even believe I have to do this today. Oh my gosh, I only have 15 minutes today. Versus you just take a moment to pause and you say, I am so grateful that I get to sit here and I get to do these things. And this is going to help the business. And this is ultimately going to help me. If you change your attitude and you're grateful for your surroundings, your environment, it's a game changer, because now you're starting off with, I'm actually really happy. It's kind of like, we can complain about where we live, right? Oh my gosh, I live here in the parking. Well, all of a sudden, you don't have your house, or like the people in Houston right now that still don't have power, you don't have AC. All of a sudden, you may have complained 2 weeks ago that oh my gosh, my house isn't cooling to a perfect 73 degrees. Now everyone's like, I just wish my house was cooler. So it changes your mindset, because you now are more grateful for the one thing that you no longer have. Implement that at work too. Be grateful that you have a job, that you have a business, that you have a company, that you have coworkers, that you can provide for yourself. When you start changing that helps your mindset moving forward.
I love that. Oh, my favorite, setting boundaries. Guys, it's such a hard task. I know. Everyone's like, oh my God, I have boundaries. And then I'm like, what are they? They're like, well, maybe I don't. So obviously setting them, understanding them. Does the person in the other relationship know them clearly? Ask, check back, but learning how to say no. I'm going to say that again. Learning how to say no. We cannot be people pleasing anymore. We are not in an era of I can do it all. We can't, ladies. We just can't. We physically, emotionally, and mentally can't. So learn to say no, set your boundaries, and then you've got to separate personal and business. We get stuck, especially if you're an entrepreneur, a small business owner, maybe someone that's transitioning from corporate and starting their business. There's so many scenarios of but this is the time and I got to be in the business. And then you come home and then you're in a bad mood, you're tired, you're exhausted, and you take it out on the family or, your dog. Like it really, it's like a ripple effect of you not being able to just say, I got to turn it off. And I probably, we have been there. If you've known us in our past lives of event planning and wedding planning, you have seen us do it. And we transitioned in that life, did a full, 180? Because it's not a 360, a full 180.
Yeah, full 180.
Yeah, had an amazing last year. And now we're doing that in the business that we're in now. And I promise you, it's because we set the boundaries. Seasons of change, we've reset the boundaries, and we understand how to say no. We reevaluate things so much. What's serving us, because that's important, and how we're serving others. And then again, separating, because you cannot be work. You just can't be work. You won't, it'll age you mentally and physically, and B, just you're not your work. So I'm going to stop there because I can do a whole episode on that.
Okay. The final one, seeking professional help. You think that would be obvious or like duh, but I think that everyone gets to a certain point and then we all go, oh, I can handle this. I'm fine. It's no big deal. But we don't realize over time how that really is affecting us, because we're saying it all. I'm fine. I'm fine every day. I'm fine. I'm fine. But then you realize I'm really not fine, because you're usually pushing those thoughts, feelings, and emotions to the side, or they're starting to erupt, and you could just be the volcano that just explodes. So don't ignore the symptoms. And we talked about that in, I think it was either part 1 or part 2. But don't ignore if your body is giving you signals. There's stressor points physically on you that you can start. Like, I know I used to chronically, my neck, it just felt like someone was just going like this on it. And that was for me, like, okay, I get that I'm in a lot of stress. And then as the stress started going away, I started noticing, wow, my neck isn't like so tight anymore. But or some people get stomach aches and ulcers. Your skin, your hair tone, your hair can start falling out. You can start to get anxious when you're around certain people, and your body starts to feel that. Your boss can walk in and you start to go because you're all of a sudden like, this is just too much and too overwhelming for me. So really pay attention to what your body's telling you. And then ultimately you just have to make a decision. Are you valuing yourself enough to say, I need to make an appointment. I need to go talk to someone. I need to reach out to a friend. I
Mhm.
need to look at these resources. I need to take the check-in self-test to see like where am I really at, because I don't really, my brain is foggy and I really don't know, you
Yeah.
know, and be honest with yourself. We say this all the time, but we make so many excuses. You've got no one but you knows your thoughts. And if you go to a professional, then it's only going to be you and the person you're talking to. So it should be a safe space. Use it
Yeah.
to your advantage.
So here's our little mental health check-in. You can take again, this is taking the time for you. This can be step number 1, right? Taking some time for you. Go online to our website, or you can scan the QR code here. It is 50 questions, but it's one of those, don't think about it. It's like intuition, whatever hits first, and then we'll send you back your results. And then we are here to help you. We do complimentary virtual calls all the time. If you need a therapist or a counselor, we also have resources for that locally, in person, or virtually. And like we said, 988 and what was it?
911.
Well, 911 if it's an emergency.
Oh, and NAMI.
NAMI, NAMI is a great resource for you to just, there's so much there. They have people you can talk to, but there's blogs if you want to read up on stuff. They were a nonprofit that we've helped out here locally. We absolutely love them. So just know what.
Oh, I was just gonna, no, go ahead, finish your sentence.
Just know that we have tools and resources available for you.
Okay. And I know this is for someone out there. You're not alone. You're so not alone. The beautiful thing that we do is that we get to intimately know clients, family, friends, and people who confide in us. It's not like we could ever divulge, but the bottom line in everything in life, you're not alone. And don't listen to those stories in your head that are telling you it's, your case is different, but if only people knew, or you'd be so embarrassed. And find that safe space, because you really aren't alone.
Yep. Well, we will be back next week with a very special episode. This wraps up our Mental Health Matters Part 3 and for mental health awareness. So keep in touch with us. Let us know what you want to hear about. And like I said, this episode was sponsored by the YGC Collective. So go to the website, check it out. We're going to add some more. We just keep on getting some more amazing sponsors. So we'll be adding some more sponsors this week. And if you want more tools and resources, or you need us, you know how to get a hold of us. So we'll be back next week.